Hello everyone. Now that we're back from South by Southwest, I finally had a chance to sit down and start processing the videos of the debriefs that we did every day. So in this first session, we're just going to go through a quick introduction, and then afterwards I'll begin processing them segment by segment, and I hope that you'll find it helpful. I'm trying to put them in more bite-sized chunks so that you'll be able to listen to them and not get overwhelmed. And I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you.
Okay, day one.
Day one.
We survived. Day one.
Yes, we did.
Takeaways right off the bat. Thoughts of just how it was laid out. Any surprises?
So South by Southwest this is the 40th anniversary of South by Southwest.
Right.
Now, you had talked about how this is like the same culture as Burning Man, only happening in Texas, and it's the kind of how'd you describe it?
It's kind of the mashup of culture, technology, music, Hollywood insiders. It's just kind of a convergence.
Okay. It's a convergence.
Especially with the Austin vibe.
Okay. Which is different because the Austin vibe is similar to Silicon Valley, but not exactly the same.
Right.
Okay. It was not quite as organized as we expected. I think because they're trying to adjust because they don't have it in the Austin Convention Center.
Right.
So that was one thing we had to struggle through, figuring out how to go stand in lines and go to the events.
Yeah.
And there were several events that we couldn't get in.
Yeah. I think we stood in line more than we actually were in some of the workshops.
Yes.
Because I don't know. After we split up halfway through the morning, that one hallway, it was impossible. You couldn't find out where the line began, where the line ended, where you went to which studio, to which room space. Like, it was so packed. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they had to push us against the wall and extend the line. And they wanted to have several of those events, audio simulcast, but some of the ones that we wanted to go to,
they didn't do that.
They didn't have it available because they tried to do as many as they could, but they apologized for it.
So I've got a question from Brian, because he's the guy that has this magical ability to have conversations with folks. I don't know, what were your thoughts, Brian? Because you were so overwhelmed with people all around all the time. I mean, it was crushing.
Yeah, it was crowded in places, and you stood in line, and you're treated like cattle. Right? Go here, stand over, and then everyone shuffle over, and then we'll go down and get in, and people really didn't know what to do or where to stand, so it was kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
In the beginning, but overall they managed it well.
Yeah.
The speakers were good, the rooms were good. A lot of them were full, and I really liked the part where you could actually stay in the room to watch the next speaker, even though they weren't supposed to do that, I found out.
Right.
So, because if a really hot speaker was coming on next and everybody wanted to see, they wanted everyone gone so that, the people that really wanted to see it could get in, but we broke the rules a bit, but they were great, so it's okay. But overall, I thought it went well, but it was a bit confusing because you didn't know really where to go, and there was lots of rooms. It was a beautiful facility, though.
Oh yeah. But you're right, and because this is trying to make up for the lack of facility.
Mm-hmm.
What a nightmare it must be for the organizers, the volunteers, the staff members.
Tremendous amount of work they put into this to get it organized.
Yeah.
And so in many, I don't want to be too critical of the the things that seemed disorganized, because it really, I don't think it was disorganized. There was just so many people.
It's just so
How do
packed.
you manage that?
Right.
I think they generally did a good job at putting it together.
Yeah.
Multiple hotels. We were only at the Hilton today. Pretty much. I did end up going over to the Fairmont for the International Expo,
Yeah.
and you all went
We
to.
went to the Courtyard Marriott.
Yeah, went to the Courtyard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. How many? Like, I mean, what is it? Maybe 5 hotels or 6 hotels, something like that.
Yeah.
And then other little ones all around too,
Right.
plus other spaces. And you know, before we came to this event, we got onto the schedule, and you have the ability on their app and on their website to pick all your favorites that you want to go and see. And then, as with our innovation badge, you can reserve 2 sessions a day. And so I know myself, I went through, I think it took 4 days to go through everything.
Yeah, it took
I
so
marked
much
all
time.
my favorites, and then I tried to reserve, and then, you know, anticipating, and then unfortunately, because of the chaotic, seemingly, all the hotels and stuff, you find that now you can't get to all the sessions that you wanted to, so you're skipping
Yeah.
a lot of the sessions. But even if it was all in the same place, overall, there are so many sessions, and you're not gonna get, there's no way.
Well, and to your point, Jenny, you were going through, so you didn't come with us, but you went and spent time looking through the webpage, scouring it, reading it.
Absolutely. And the messaging was just what strikes you, is everything is about collaboration, coming together, overcoming, rising above, influencing. I think some of them actually said things like seeding ideas and things like that. And that was the constant in all of the descriptions of the speakers, the descriptions of an event, all of those things were.
Yeah.
And thematically, one of the big thematic ideas that we all noticed today being there was promoting the idea that evolution, that human evolution, or humans and artificial intelligence will evolve together.
Yeah, that theme was there. Right from the very first session, like the opening, there was already hints of what that was gonna look like. And then part of the question that comes with that is, who does this?
Yeah.
Who funds this? And who, I've got on my notes, who's building the future? Because that first workshop that the 4 of us went to was entitled, Who's Funding the Future? And implied in that workshop was, whoever's funding it is building the future.
Mm-hmm. And
that's true.
Yes.
And that's why, you know, if somebody has to go to an event like this, which this is not like pagan events that we've gone to before or UN events.
Right.
This is really a place where trends and narratives and not so much agendas, but how all the moving parts kind of work in terms of culture and technology and enterprise, and that's why you see lots of startups and lots of companies who are at this event, because it launches stuff. I mean, Twitter wasn't launched, but it, you know, went orbital by coming to this event first.
They're culturally influencing
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
the trends
Right.
for us to take back and influence our sphere of influence.
It is interesting to think about it that way. There's not a religious agenda.
No.
There's not a political agenda. There is just the desire to
Influence.
So I
The
wasn't there.
messaging out.
Yeah.
So give me your impressions. We know that when we go to Burning Man, there's a huge component that is seen as spiritual.
Yes.
Part of it is where it is. Part of it is the ritual that's involved. So did you feel like this is a more intellectually based pursuit
Yes.
versus spiritually?
Yeah, I don't think
100%.
I would not say there was any indication of people in the spiritual area. Now there was philosophy, and a lot of that was related to AI. The two of the seminars that we talked about in the age of AI, talking about how the tendency for us to lose our humanity, to lose our creativity, and to lose our relatability with one another in the age of AI. And so there were two seminars that were about, one was about helping people to understand that they matter. The author's name who gave the lecture is a lady named Jennifer Wallace. She was really good information. And the other one, who did, there's one that was, the world is going to, or how to be relevant in the world. The world is going to expletive.
I'll get there.
Well, there's no expletives.
Yeah, well.
Well, they're not wrong. So, well, you looked that up.
No, my app's going crazy. How to meaningfully connect in a world that has gone to expletive. And who the speaker was? Susan McPherson. She's the founder, CEO, and author, McPherson Strategies.
So
she was very good too.
And the only thing I took away from that in relation to spirituality is the ideas that they were bringing out in those lectures are all very Christian ideas, and they're ideas, about relating properly to one another and valuing other people. Those are all things that have really taken root in Western civilization because of the influence of Christianity. That's where it was brought out. But they were not in any way trying to say we're not Christian. That message was not there at all.
Right. They're how do you say it? They're living off of the leftover crumbs of the Judeo-Christian ethos that has informed civilization.
Right. That's a really good way to put it. Yes.
Yeah.
They're living off those remnants, those remnants of Judeo-Christianity. They're trying to hold on to those things because they recognize that they're valuable. But there is still an understanding. At an event like this, you're not supposed to talk about spirituality. I mean, if you want to talk about God with people will probably be fine with it. But, I mean, as an individual. But they would not have a lecturer that would bring in a religious element. What they... And so what you have is you have the spirituality without religion aspect of it, even though in this case they wouldn't even call it spirituality. They're just talking about human relationships, but it's the same idea.
It's just fascinating to me from an outside perspective, especially after they had the education part earlier in the week, and so today was the only overlap day. So I looked into all that and possibly going to those. But what's fascinating about that, and what probably y'all are hitting with those seminars, to me, it seems like we're on purposely having a different kind of a transformative event that's going to actually be more socially acceptable, be more intellectually based, which doesn't get away from religion and spirituality. It's all about worldview, but there are parameters that we're going to say, okay, we're talking about these ideas, but we're doing something about it. We're looking at, how are we going to evolve with AI and things like that. Whereas it seems to me a little bit more at Burning Man, those things are going on, but more we're out here to experience all the things, and we're going to listen and give and take, but that those things have been kind of exclusively cut out of South by Southwest just by the way that they're presenting, seminars and lots of speakers and.
On the point of evolving with AI, that theme. So within the two sessions we just talked about human connection and relationships and stuff, they said that the youth are connecting more with AI, things like Chat GPT, because it seems to show more empathy than humanity is right now. And so they're connecting with AI and not building relationships with friends.
And that goes to a stat that was given at the last workshop I was in, which was the statistic was roughly 1/3 of Americans now admit to having a romantic relationship with AI.
Which is incredible. I mean, a romantic relationship with a machine. Doesn't make. I use AI for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But at no level do I feel like it's human.
I know.
And
It's because it tells you how wonderful you are. You're not used to that with you.
I was just gonna,
Not the one who lives with you anyway.
I was just gonna say that is because when you interact with AI, you, through what the questioning that you're presenting to it, you are creating what you want to hear back. And so when you hear that back, now you're connecting to it. You don't have to sit with people anymore that you disagree with.
Right.
You don't have to learn how to interact and debate and have respectful discussions
stay in your own
anymore.
echo
You just
chamber.
stay in your own echo chamber
Yeah.
and create
much
the
so.
AI messaging that you want to hear.
which is why that one lecturer, Susan McPherson, why one of the things that she was promoting was not only just interacting with other people, but specifically trying to interact with people that think differently from you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they are, and I think that's important to understand when we talk about these groups, the city, the earthly city, the city of man, human beings are made in God's image. And so we all have the capacity to recognize right and wrong and things that are good and bad as a result, because we are made in God's image. It's kind of a natural outgrowth of that office that God appointed us to. And so I just think it's important to recognize that, because when you're dealing with the people that they're looking to try and make sense of the world around them because they see the changes. And so you have someone like who comes up with those ideas, which are actually some good ideas.
Yeah. And there are good ideas. I mean, there's some pretty cool things that we're going to be learning during the course of this week. Some interesting takeaways, that's for sure. And then at the same time, wrestling through, okay, what is that? What is the broader narrative, that broader trend that this is taking us down, that road, that trend road?
Okay, I hope that you found that session helpful and enjoyable. Be sure and stay tuned. I'm gonna be processing the segmented videos for your enjoyment, for your consumption, so you can be informed and understand where people believe the future is going. That's what they talk about at South by Southwest. So stay tuned. Thank you.